Worldwide, it is estimated that between 10 and 15% of people are suffering with irritable bowel syndrome. If you have IBS, the good news is you no longer have to suffer, because in this video, I am going to show you how you could treat your irritable bowel syndrome. Enjoy. There are 5 systems involved in the cause of IBS. Your endocrine system, your immune system, your nervous system, your gut microbiome, and your environment. If there is an imbalance in any of these systems, all 5 will be affected. For example, if you are under chronic stress, your endocrine system will produce more of the stress hormone cortisol. Elevated cortisol affects your immune system, which in turn will affect your gut microbiome. Cortisol also affects your sleep, which will affect your nervous system and other parts of your endocrine system, including your sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. If those hormones are affected, those affect your immune system. So it is a vicious cycle. Without getting into too much detail, the point is that treating your IBS involves balancing all 5 systems. Now, you really only have control over one of these systems, and that is your environment. So that is what we're going to be talking about here. There may be a lot of stressors in your environment, but it is important for you to understand that stress is simply your perception of a threat to your physiological and psychological well-being, and the perception that you are unable to cope with it. This is good news because there is an excellent practice that you can do daily to change your perception, and that is meditation. At the end of this video, I put together a playlist of all helpful videos related to this one, including a video on how to do meditation, so make sure you stick around for that. Another major component of your environment that will have a profound impact on your IBS symptoms is what you allow yourself to eat. Notice how I said allow yourself. If you are an independent adult, you have control over what you eat. So be mindful of the foods in your culture that are destroying your gut. The #1 food category to remove from your diet if you have IBS is dairy. I have ordered thousands of food sensitivity tests on patients, and most of the time people come up with a sensitivity to dairy. And when we remove dairy from their diet, most people's symptoms improve. Adult mammals are not supposed to consume dairy, especially milk from another species. In fact, 70% of the world population has lactose intolerance, meaning their bodies do not produce enough of the enzyme to break down the sugars in milk. And in some ethnicities, that percentage is even higher. So stop eating all dairy today, and within 2 to 3 weeks, you should notice improvement in your digestive symptoms. Other dietary changes you should make include avoiding foods which feed unfavorable species of gut microbes, and add more foods that feed favorable species of gut microbes. So the foods that feed the bad guys are things like refined sugars and refined flours, while the things that feed the good species are soluble fiber. Now, you get soluble fiber from eating more plants in your diet and more variety of plants. Part of IBS symptoms are caused by irritating compounds produced by unfavorable species of bacteria in the gut, known as lipopolysaccharides, or LPS for short. So if you have large populations of these bad bacteria producing these harmful chemicals, you're going to get irritation in your gut, and that's going to cause things like cramping and diarrhea. Now, whenever you start to feed the good bacteria more soluble fiber, their populations will grow. They will produce chemicals which change the environment, which make the environment less suitable for bad species to be there, And it also makes the environment more suitable for other friendly species to colonize your gut, so it's a win-win situation. You also want to avoid food additives, preservatives, pesticides, and traces of antibiotics, because those things will kill off your friendly species of microbes. So whenever possible, always get organic food, because organic means that it's not sprayed with pesticides. And if you eat animal products like beef, chicken, those for sure have to be organic, because if they're not, there is a good chance they're gonna have trace amounts of antibiotics, which are gonna also kill your good microbes. If it's too expensive or things just aren't available to get organic, then you could go to ewg.org, check out their Dirty Dozen list. I put a link down in the description, and that list tells you the top 12 plant items that are most heavily sprayed, and those ones for sure you want to try to eat organic as much as possible. Also, if you eat wheat, corn, and soy, those 100% must be organic, because those are heavily sprayed crops. Let us quickly recap what I just said. There are 5 systems involved in the cause of IBS. You have control over one of these systems, which is your environment. By making changes in your environment, you will positively affect all of these other systems, and your symptoms of IBS will improve. If you are under a lot of stress, practice meditation daily to change your perception of the stressors, and make sure that you are being mindful and cautious of the foods that you are allowing to go into your body. If you follow these tips in the video, within 2 to 3 weeks, you should start to feel improvement in your IBS symptoms. Here's a helpful playlist, and here's a video on a good dietary supplement that could also help with your IBS. Thanks for watching.